YouTube, what it do? It's your boy Benji, and we're back with the crew. If you're new, please don't forget to subscribe. Look, man, we love to have conversations about each and everything we see out here in the community culture, and with y'all, the crew. Hey, look, man, we're gonna bring more people on too. My boys have, it's been scheduled, it's been alignment. It's been tough to pod, but we're gonna get back on it. Anyways, we are checking out another clip from tonight's conversation, which is titled, Do Most Modern Women Secretly Devalue Men Who Make Less Money Than Them? Dating combos and topics are always interesting to me. I like to hear people's perspectives on what they value in regards to a relationship and their significant other. So I'm going to hear this out. Let's go.
That we have, and women are literally saying, I make $300,000 a year. If he makes $100K, he's not valuable.
But wait, Doc, this is what I'm saying. I'm saying leadership. It's about leadership. So for me,
but money doesn't equate to leadership at all.
This is what I'm saying. I'm saying if you are going to lead me in the ways.
This woman is also like a dating coach, if I'm not mistaken.
That means you need to have the mindset. That means you need to have the mentality, the emotions, the spirit, the energy. If you're going
to... These women are leaders. These women are asking for leaders, and they're trying to tell you exactly what a leader is supposed to be.
To lead me in the ways. That means you need to have the mindset. That means you need to have the mentality, the emotions, the spirit, the energy. If you're going to lead this household, I don't want to have to slow down to let you pass me up.
The average woman doesn't make that much money.
That's true.
Right? The actual listener is making 50, 70, maybe 80. Right. So what happens to the
There's a lot of people making 30, 40, 50.
Man that only makes 50, 70, 80? Is he now completely disqualified? Because we've completely changed the conversation. We said average. Now we're talking about men that make $300,000 a year. Mm-hmm. We can't even keep the conversation to the same topic of the average man. He's still being bypassed in the conversation. Yeah. So if he's being bypassed in the conversation where we can't even stay on topic and talk about the man, imagine the women that's listening to the conversation. Their mind is still going to the $300,000 man.
Can I just say one more thing? Even if you are that 50, 60, 70,000 earning man, there is still a desire for you.
Y'all think all these people up here are making over six figures?
At some point to make enough to where your wife doesn't have to work.
Yes.
Are people not able to make a living and provide a beautiful life with $50,000? That's
exactly.
crazy. That is exactly what he said. That's what he said. That's exactly what he said. And to allude to a
and the conversation gets lost.
If a person makes under a certain amount of money, to say that they don't have the ability to lead, provide, and have all of these things, that's exactly what y'all are saying. Y'all are going around about a way to say it, but that's how people are perceiving the things that y'all say.
There's a component of this that we are missing, and that is that men that are not happy with where they are financially are mean. They treat
I ain't gonna lie. As people, there's great things that we can have discussions about in order to just benefit one another. But we are downtrodden, bro. As a community, we are well behind everybody in regards to like the amount of familial unions that we have. I mean, we have the most children out of wedlock. I mean, we're just so lost, and it's just blind leading blind. This woman is obviously speaking to her own situations and using that to judge a bunch of men. So she says it's the age old thing where we're like, would you rather cry in a Honda or a Rolls Royce? That's the ideology these people have. The woman with short hair is the only one making a little bit of sense. Y'all are talking about how important it would be for you to have courtship and partnership with one another. Yet you would not give that to somebody because they do not fit a certain metric for you. And that metric is finances. And again, it's not how much money you make. It's really about how much money you spend. Because people are talking about, there's plenty of people who make $50,000, which is absolutely true. The average person makes $50,000. And these men are paying the bills, and they're living a fruitful, dutiful life. There can be two people making $50,000. That's $100,000. The average household income is somewhere in that range, 70 to 100,000. And these people are living good lives. But we've gotten to a point where a lot of these people believe that in order to keep up, they have to make X amount of money, which And we're talking about people who probably don't even see that much money, believe that they have to make that much money. There's people that are making $30,000 that believe that they have to make $300,000. Yes, could them adding hundreds of thousands of dollars to this annual salary completely help and benefit them and the people around them? Absolutely. But you're acting like at a certain point, stuff doesn't just stay consistent. Life doesn't change much. After bills are paid and you have the bills already in the bank for next month, ready to be paid, what else changes much? You have more opportunity possibly to be able to travel or buy things, maybe eat out here and there. Those are some luxuries that we're living in the first world country. There's plenty of people who work 20 hours a day just to find an opportunity to get food. Basic human necessities are just being able to provide sustenance and finding shelter. And then when you do that, you can possibly find another person who you be likely able to procreate with. I think we live in the year 2025 as if life is more than what it really is. And what I'm just trying to get to is, at the end of the day, we're animals. Yeah, like we can do all this talking, and yes, we're at the upper end of the food chain, and we have higher intelligence, but we've got a lifespan of X amount of years. Eat, sleep, work, die. And if you're lucky, you can probably find somebody who you can procreate with during that time, and you'll be able to bring children to term. Maybe you'll be able to see those children have children. So you'll be able to furnish the steps of the next couple generations. And you'll be able to leave your imprint on the world around you, because it's very possible that somebody, one of your seeds, or someone within your family unit, or your generation, is able to make an impact on the world. Or people around them, at the very least, a community. We make it so much more complex and complicated than it has to be. People talking about you got to make $300,000. What are you talking about? I'm getting twisted. I understand bills got to get paid, but it's just such a strange conversation to say that you just will not look at nobody because of the amount of money that they make. I can understand that there's certain things that you can make an argument and discussion about. Like if we're talking about, you solely want to make $725 for the rest of your life, I could start to, and lean in your direction, because you should want better for yourself. It's very tough for you to even pay bills as a single adult on an income like that. But there's plenty of people who make the bare minimum $3,000 a month, and they're able to live a life. And I'm sure we can pull up studies of these people showing lower levels of stress, not worrying about much. You see people who are making millions of dollars off themselves every day. Money's not everything.
Okay, if you meet somebody and they're a 300K woman, that may not be quite the lane for you. It doesn't mean that I value you less.
I also think that's true. But it's not about how much money you make. It's really about the lifestyle you live. If it's me, and I live with a partner who's making $300,000, but they sliding up and down a pole every weekend to get that $300,000, that $300,000 don't mean nothing to me.
It doesn't mean, but you're going to perform better. You're going to be a better person. You're going to have a better mindset. You're going to be in a clearer space when you feel valued, safe, at peace with where you are. And it's...
What are you talking about? I mean, we're starting to see an epidemic where a lot of people who are participating in adult work are making plenty of money right now in the new age of the internet. And then in a couple of years, they get out and they talk about the amounts of stress that they're seeing, the depression that they're seeing, because they're just not happy with the way they were able to garner that money. Not all money is good money. Not all money is clean money. There's people that have been selling and doing drugs for years, for millennia. There's been people doing all types of things in order to garner dirty money for years and millennia.
No harm, no foul.
It just doesn't mean that you have these skills simply because you make this much money. That's why I said it's another easy cop-out. You see all these streamers that are making bucket loads of money. These kids that are 16, 17, 18 years old. You're telling me that they have these skills? Some of these kids can't even formulate a sentence. You listen to, what is that kid, I don't even want to get into it.
In that
stay there in that lane with the women that are in alignment with you, and don't be mad at us calling us broke, gold diggers, dirty, bald head scallywags on the internet because we are in this lane.
I agree with that, though. I mean, look, if you got a woman who's maybe content with the life that she's living and she enjoys a lot of her freedom, again, this is about the job that they have more so, and about the way they spend their money more so than the amount of money that you're making or the route that you chose to get that money, because you could be a CEO, business owner, whatever the case may be, and you could be making oodles of money. Yet that lifestyle may be a little more restrictive to somebody who, let's say, for example, is making content to do that type of money. They might have more freedom to go travel or whatever the case may be if they're doing content. They can probably wake up whenever they want to when they're doing content. You could be somebody who's a business owner and has these skills. Yet, hey, look, I'm barely getting sleep. I'm out here, handling phone calls, out here doing taxes, breaking down numbers, auditing, whatever, in the middle of the night. We're just not living the same life. You're not going to tell me that just because both these people make this X amount of money, they have the same skills. No.
It would be wonderful to meet a man and he's like, babe, let's do this together. Let's build. I got this, you got that. You got my back, I got your back. But the reality of it is because I went to school, I was valedictorian, I graduated, I got a master's degree, I did all this. Now you mad at me because you not in my lane. Get in your lane, make some more money, and then come over here. Now we...
Like, there's some, they like, it's one of those like half truths. Let's see what the comments say, man. We gotta stop listening to people that are not married. No facts. Lady in the short hair lives in reality. Protect the woman in the gray shirt at all costs. Yet all this talk, yet no one mentioned loving each other and respecting one another. Yep. All I know is where all these black women who make $300,000 are. Nowhere. Not in your circle. We are out there. On TV, that's why I think it's normal. It's not as common as unicorns. Or they are as common. You're not making $300K. I think people find it so hard to just date people in their tax bracket. There's absolutely nothing with a $300,000 woman and $50,000 man have in common. How? What do they have that is not common? They could have did the same amount of schooling. They could have gotten the same amount of degrees. And they're just that different off in regards to what they earn. They can work the same schedules. What are you talking? Like, what do y'all get up here? What are y'all talking about? What are you saying? A $50,000 man is deserving of love. He just needs to love a woman in his tax bracket. The problem comes in when men choose women without the constraints of income. Money limits women's options and broadens men's options. Then the successful women complain about not having men when their income is not the qualifier that they believe it to be. And I think that's where we need to be having this discussion from. If you want somebody who makes that type of money, sure, whatever. There might be some people that are going to question it. There might be some people that are going to be a little bit confused as to why that's one of your metrics. But at the end of the day, if that's what you want, that's what attracts you, and that's what's going to keep you in line and keep you in a relationship, all right. But again, it's these people that we just saw how this woman talked about how important it was that she was able to get to the degree, she was able to get to the position in which she is able to make X amount of money. That now becomes a barometer of success for everybody, which you put in the work. I'm not going to be too mad at it. I think it's not much farther than somebody who's putting hours and hours and hours in the gym and they want their partner to be similar in that aspect. But I just think it's interesting because when the shoes are on the other foot, you have people that are choosing women who don't even work. And they're looking at them for the reasons you would think that you would be looking at somebody for a partner. Reproduction. How are they going to be able to nurture these children? And how are we going to be able to come together as a unit in order to create the best scenario for our children and for our children's children? I even lived a life as a woman, so I mean, it's a different vantage point for me. I don't think that women should not go after the best possible man for them. I think they should chase the best possible suitor. But at some point, we have to acknowledge where reality meets, and then we have to acknowledge that some of the decisions that you're trying to make in order to choose yourself a partner can be limiting and shallow. Realist comment right here. Dating today is just cooked. There's too much judgment, too many standards. I'm trying to be with somebody who I like talking to, being around, and just exist with. And it's literally just not that deep. I also agree that you can absolutely be broke. and still be way better at business than the person that's making $500,000. Again, it's just crazy discussions. But y'all let me know what y'all think. Am I tripping? Let me know your position down in the comments below.